This is the Live Well and Thrive podcast, hosted by Michael Torsha, health and wellness expert. It's time to shape up, America.
Hi, this is Mike Torsha, and welcome to Live Well and Thrive. I have a very special guest. He's from New York originally, then moved to Nyack, and then came out here to become an actor, and his dream definitely came true. I remember Frank Grillo when you were training at Gold's Gym on Cole. 10 o'clock on a Friday, training clients.
That's right.
To earn a living.
That's
to
right.
you achieve your goal as an actor.
Yep.
And I got to tell you something, Frank. Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And what you have accomplished. I mean, you told me you were going to make it. Nothing was going to stop you.
Yeah.
And I had that, belief that you'd do it because you always were so determined and always ripped. To this day, you're still shredded. I never saw you fat, soft.
Won't happen. Won't do it.
and besides the weight training, you're an incredible martial arts expert. You trained in Thailand, right?
Yeah.
With these masters.
Trained all over the place. Yeah,
It's incredible.
But yeah, that was all part of the. It's all part of the journey. That was all, it was. The parts are greater than the sum, they say, and everything kind of came together at one point and got me to where I needed to be. And martial arts was a big part of it. My training, my lifestyle, huge part of it, which I've just continued to gain knowledge and grow that part of my life as far as nutrition and training. As we know from when we were training, there's so much more science involved now that could really help people live a really long. I mean, I'm working with Stallone. He's 78 years old,
yeah,
man.
That's amazing, man.
78. He sits across. We do these scenes that are 9 pages. He doesn't forget a word.
Oh yeah, he's on.
And
always on.
And he's in great shape. He's had some back problems, but he's in great shape. He's still childlike in his approach to life, and that's the lesson I take away from these guys. I became friends with. It's so weird. Mel Gibson and Liam Neeson and Stallone and guys like this who I admired for a long time, and it's that childlike element to their personality that kind of keeps them relevant and going.
It's always fun. Like with Sly, when he lives out here still, we used to go to Cafe Roma.
Yeah.
Every Saturday, 12:30. Arnold would show up with Ralph Muller. All these other people would show up. So everybody, they're walking by, and we're sitting outside eating. It's like the Expendables meets Rocky.
Yeah, I know.
And it was so funny because Arnold would break Sly's balls.
Oh.
Incredible. Like Sly, he likes to show off his watches.
Right.
Okay. So Arnold goes, 400,000. So then Arnold goes, Swatch, $12, Venice Beach. So I was constantly laughing with these guys.
I know.
But I got to tell you something. Sly always ate clean.
Yep.
When he's getting ready for a movie.
Yep.
Oh, he would train like an animal.
Yeah, like a professional athlete.
I'd go to his house for the fights, which I know you have too. And when he was training for him, Mike, is it okay I eat this? I said, yeah. And then we're talking about peptides. We're talking about this. We're talking
Same
about that.
thing.
Right?
On set, that's all we talk about.
Right. And Dr. George, Dr. George, right? So it was fun,
Yeah.
And then his brother Frank's getting pissed at him. Hassan and I are, remember this house in Beverly Park?
Yeah.
He had that screening room with a special screen.
Yeah.
It was like a billboard, right? Frankie's back at the party. He goes, you hung out all the time. I brought you here. And you were my brother the whole night. I go, well, we're talking about training. What do you mean?
I know. Frank's hysterical.
He's hysterical.
I love him.
But you're right. These people we idolized them, right?
Idolized. Not just us. I mean, especially in, I grew up in the Bronx and then upstate in Rockland County. But, primarily I was with Italian people because that's my family. I had a huge family and, all from the other side. And when the Rocky movie came out, I mean, he was one of us. And he's from the same town as my parents, my father's from.
Oh, wow.
He got his citizenship where I got my citizenship, same town. Yeah, it's
incredible.
Coincidentally. And so it was a big thing, this Italian guy. It was, and he was like us somehow. He sounded like us, and he wasn't really a movie star, but he was a movie star. And next thing you know, he's calling my house on a Sunday morning to pitch me an idea for his show for me to come work with him. I'm like, what? It all kind of in an instant, my whole life went, and I was like, even at my age, it wasn't lost on me. I was like, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing that Sly is calling me. First of all, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
He's calling me to pitch me the character to come work with him. I'm like, wow. I mean, if you would have told, if I would have told my 25-year-old self that was going to happen, you know, when I was working at Roxbury, he would pull in his yellow Lamborghini. There was Stallone, like in the height of Stallone days. I'd be like, "What are you, crazy?" You know, it's and you know, or even Arnold. You know, Arnold's always at his house. Every time I went to Sly's house, Arnold's there. I'm like, "That's Schwarzenegger," and they, you know, they're always riffing and you know, they're telling stories. It's just surreal, you know. But bringing it all back, I mean, I look at how those guys live their lives. Fitness is always part of it, you know. The physicality of those guys is what made them so, especially Arnold. I mean,
his presence on screen. Remember Commando?
Jesus.
Oh man, did he look amazing on Commando? Jesus.
And then I think it was like by the third Rocky, I mean Sly and the Rambo.
Rambo. Remember how ripped he was in
diced. I know, and I was like, oh my God, how do you do that? So,
but you know but the thing I remember was. Not too long before it was announced that you were going to do Tulsa King.
Yeah.
Sly was so excited that you were going to be in Tulsa King.
And that's something.
He was so excited. And me knowing you for so many years.
I know.
I was like, I would never thought I'd ever hear him get so excited that you really, you're going to be this mob boss and you're going to help us take the show to another level. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. We just did we were on set and we did for the premiere of the first episode in September, CBS Mornings came. That's a big, CBS Mornings is a big Sunday. And he said, I want Frank to do it with me. So I'm in a chair, you know, the whole CBS crew is there. We're on set and I'm in a chair next to him. And Sly, with his $1 million watch on, Sly is waxing poetic about my career and me. And I'm almost like getting emotional. I'm almost like, I want him to stop almost. I'm like, that's not true. It can't be. You know what I mean? It's like, because for me, I still feel kind of invisible when it comes to that iconic level of superstardom of, you know, it transcends being an actor by a long shot. And to hear him talk about me, it was as if I was dead. It was as if I died, and he was saying, it was just amazing. It was, you know.
Yeah, no, he was so excited. You know, we're on the phone. We were just chatting about it. I said, make sure you tell Frank I said hello. I'm sure he probably forgot.
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Okay. And then my buddy Jamie Quattrochi played one of the mob guys. You know? So it was like, it was so great. All these friends of mine working together.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was like, you know, Sly wanted me to come out, but at the time I couldn't get out there. But it would have been nice to be on the set, watch you guys in action.
It was fun.
You
know, it was a lot of fun, and it was never lost on me. Again, we would do 9-page scenes. It was never lost on me that there he was. There he was. Right? You know what I mean? I'm like, and I've worked with everybody at this point. And I'm like, but there's something about Sly that is different than everybody else.
Even Arnold, but Sly different. You're right. He's so brilliant. He's such a great writer, director.
He is the true Renaissance man. Like he is Michelangelo. Like people don't understand. He's also one of the nicest man. You know, when somebody says something bad about him, I'm like, what? What'd you say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he had a little bit of a problem on set, like some extra. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
That was terrible.
I went right. I was getting off a plane as it happened. TMZ was in my face when I got off the plane, and I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Let me tell you, absolutely nothing." He said, no, and I went on, and they called me and said, "Oh, thanks so much." I go, "You don't have to thank me for telling the truth. That guy he helped so many people, and he's Sylvester Stallone. Let's not ever forget that what he's accomplished."
Yeah, no, he and you know, and his wife Jennifer,
beautiful,
salt to the earth,
and keeps him.
And check.
Right?
She does.
What she was just talking about. Michelle? Jennifer. What was your last guest's name?
Michelle.
Michelle. What she was talking about as I was listening, that's the thing you need in a woman, is somebody who, otherwise he could get too far away from himself.
True.
Jennifer brings him to a place
she keeps him in check.
And she keeps him, he's a great father. He's a beautiful.
Oh, he adores the girls.
But he knows he's flawed. And we all need to know what our flaws are. and deal with that, right? And otherwise, it'll destroy you. If you have this idea about yourself that other people, I look at the guy, he's amazing, but you can't look at yourself that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
look at yourself that way. So,
But it's so funny. Like on Christmas Eve, we used to have dinner at the house over there.
right.
And I remember when the girls were young, and he turns to me and goes, Mike, God, it's like a fucking nightmare to have 3 daughters.
Beautiful. By
Boy,
the way,
when they start,
beautiful daughters.
oh. Because I have out shit. I just thinking about the shit I'm going to have to deal with when the boys come over, you know?
Yep.
And
their fathers. It's
the look on their face, Sylvester Stallone.
I know, but they're gorgeous and they're
yeah.
they made
smart.
great children. They're
Yeah.
great children.
Well, Jennifer
Yeah,
groomed them so well.
I know.
I mean, look, the way they dress, they
Yep.
carry themselves,
Yep.
their hair, the nails, the skin. When the reality show came out, the people were like, oh my God, we thought the Kardashian girls were beautiful.
No, these girls are next.
Oh, the Stallone's next
and they're
level.
really beautiful. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's how they look. You know what I mean? God bless the Kardashians, but a lot of them have done things.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. And to get there, they did a lot of things.
Right.
But Jennifer, seriously, would be the fights, and she goes, Mike Slight told me you're not going to eat the pizza. They'd have the grilled chicken, they have the steamed vegetables, they have the salad, and then I'd go in the kitchen. She goes, go sit next to Sly. I'll make you a plate. Now listen, she's up there. Most wives of people like that going to make me a plate?
No.
She's like an Italian, like Michelle, right?
Yeah, they're different people. I've been there, and there's a few. Again, I'm friends with Mel, and Mel's like that. Mel can't do enough for you. Like you hang out with Mel, it's like hanging out with your college buddy. You know what I mean?
We used to work out at Equinox on Sepulveda. He's so funny.
Oh my God. Another genius.
Absolutely genius.
Another
We were
genius.
talking about movies and this and that. He goes, Mike, listen, you're doing a movie, keep it under $10 million, get one good actor, and get day players. That's all you need. Don't spend all this money. You never get it back.
One of the great directors.
Amazing.
Right?
Absolutely amazing.
We did a movie. My partner and I made this movie, Boss Level, which is kind of like a fun action movie, and we got Mel. Mel came, and so I got to work. My kid was in the movie too. Mel actually kills my kid in the movie, and I kill Mel subsequently. But I had 2.5 weeks with Mel, and it was like getting a PhD in everything in life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Little just pearls every time. And still, to this day, he'll call me and we'll talk. We'll talk about it for 2 hours on the phone about, the Bible. And nobody knows the Bible like that guy. I got to tell you
Amazing,
something.
wow.
It's amazing what he knows about the Bible. As a text, not as a mythological, but as a text. And so we'll have conversations with him, because I think he's going to do the second version of the Christ movie.
Yeah, he is.
And it's getting closer and closer. So, he'd tell me things, and I was like, wow, this guy's crazy mad genius. But again, never lost on me that I'm on the phone with Mel Gibson.
I know, right?
Like,
a guy you idolize, right?
He gives a shit what I say. Like, why?
Well, listen, you paid your dues, brother.
Yeah,
all the movies. I remember Warrior. I was in a movie theater. I go, oh shit, Frank's in the movie.
Yeah.
I was so proud of you.
Thank
You were great in that movie.
Gavin O'Connor.
Gavin's
man.
great.
New Yorker.
I love him.
Another New York dude, All-American football player, Ivy League guy. We hit it off. And he said to me, he goes, if I get this movie up, you got to promise me you'll do it. I go, what else am I doing? I'm doing I was on a TV series at the time. I go, yeah, man, like, let's go. And to his credit, as soon as the movie got greenlit, with these unknown guys named Tom Hardy, who he fought for.
And he looked amazing, by the way.
Yeah, nobody wanted him. And Joel Edgerton, who has become, they're both great friends of mine, but Gavin fought for them, and Gavin I was in another movie with Gavin called Pride and Glory. That's how I met Gavin. With me and Colin Farrell and Ed Norton. It was really great New York cop story. And then we did Warrior together. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time when I really saw you in something substantial.
And that's what changed my life. That movie, as an actor, changed my life.
I told my girl, this is the springboard of his career. Everything you did, that was the movie.
Well, that's when people recognize you. I worked for 12, 15 years before that. Nobody gave it, I'm doing little stupid shit. But Warrior is when the town recognized me. From that movie, Ari Emanuel called me.
Wow.
Ari Emanuel called me, and CIA came, and these were, because they see a younger guy who's kind of making an impact in a film, and they're interested. And I credit Gavin O'Connor to this day for changing my career, not only from the movie, but I became friends with Nolte, another lifetime, a hero of mine, right? You remember Rich Man, Poor Man
Of
when we were
course,
kids?
it was amazing.
Beautiful how he was.
Oh.
He was like the man's man, right? He had carried around a binder with him. He was like the mad professor.
Yeah.
He liked to drink a little bit. Yeah. And I said, Nick, what is that? He goes, that's my character, Frank. That's everything I do is in this. I go, what? Show me that, And to his credit, he kind of walked through how he broke down a character, how he broke down the script. Well, so for 3 months, I absorbed Nick Nolte. It changed the way I looked at acting. So I go, oh, okay, I get this now. There's something to this. I just think acting was silly. I said, there's something to this, man. I mean, I'm a blue-collar Italian. My father comes from the other side. I'm an immigrant.
So wait, how old were you when you decided, did you want to be an actor?
Oh.
When did that start? Was it a little kid or?
No, 25.
No shit.
Yeah, I was like, I can do that. I was handsome. I was fortunate enough to be born what people would consider handsome. So I had that going for me, right? So I did a bunch of commercials, a way to make money. I was hustling all the time, right? Never took it seriously. Ever took it seriously. I never really looked. Look, I loved Steve McQueen, but again, he didn't look like. He was like a regular guy.
Yeah.
Right? He was a man before he was an actor, I imagine.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are actors before they're men. And so I have nothing, they're just not relevant to me. And it's like today, a lot of actors aren't relevant to me.
So did you go to formal school for acting?
What?
Are you self-taught?
No, it's make-believe. No, I go to the Frank Grillo School of Acting. Then when I was in New York and I decided I'm going to try to do this, I'm like, I'm going to fucking do this. Maybe I was 23, 24. Then I went to Stella Adler and I learned, right? Like anything, when I wanted to learn how to fight, I went with Iran Barkley. I found Iran Barkley, who was down on his luck, and I said, I'll pay you. You teach me how to fight. I've been boxing since I'm 12, but I want to learn how you fight. And Iran Barkley taught me how to box. Iran Barkley, 5-time world champion.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I did the same thing. I used all my money to find the teachers and the coaches. I'm in New York, the best place in the world to learn.
Oh, it is, yeah.
And that's what I did, and that's how I learned.
But did you bring the martial arts because you felt it was good for your career?
No.
Or you just loved it?
By the way, I didn't know genre, this, that. I really wasn't even a big movie guy when I played sports. I threw a ball most of my life. I look at guys and I go, oh yeah, you know all about the theater and this and that and the third. I was playing football and wrestling. So I didn't do that. That wasn't my jam. I wasn't interested. I would go see Rocky. I'd go see The Predator.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even discover Godfather until after I was an adult. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't interested in that shit. I just wasn't. And I'm not going to lie and say I was. But when I learned about acting, I was like, oh, I get this is about make-believe. I've been doing this my whole life. This is about my imagination. The stronger you make your imagination, the more convincing you are. Right? When I want to tell my mother, no, that's a real B on the report card, I could fucking act like I'm nobody's business, like Al Pacino. That's a B. I'm telling you, that's not an F. It's the B, right?
Yeah. Well, you were brilliant in Lamborghini, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much.
I mean...
And I had a week. I just showed up.
That was incredible
There was no prep.
The finest performance, I got to say.
Thank you. But my point being, there was never any kind of, it was no mythology behind acting. I was like, I get it. Even my best acting teachers, it was about imagination. And so I was like, I'm going to find what works for me. And then I'm never going to be Daniel Day-Lewis, but I can be interesting. I think I could be interesting.
But now he's a shoemaker. Right. Go figure.
But you know what I mean? There's those guys. Yeah. It goes, it's like, okay, I'm never going to do that. So I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to strive to do that. I'm going to stay in a lane. And hopefully somebody will recognize it, and it'll work out. And that's what Warrior was. Yeah. I'm playing a coach who's teaching MMA. I'm training with Greg Jackson down in New Mexico, who's my guy. I bring Greg. He was the coordinator for the film. I just played him, right? And I had him telling me what to say. there was no script really for the
It was so like real.
because he was right there.
That was a
right?
pivotal role.
And I'm saying, look at me. You don't win this fight. There is no home. Like,
Yeah.
I made all that shit up.
Wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the script.
And to Gavin's credit, because there was a lot of story going on. To Gavin's credit, he goes, when you get it, because he knew I was with Greg for months. I trained for the movie. I was with George St. Pierre. I was with Keith Jardine. I was with the old school guys. A young John Jones. Yeah, I trained with all those guys. And Gavin said, just go. Just riff. Just keep saying shit. I'll cut it together. Just keep saying shit. So I would just make shit up. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that changed everything.
Yeah, but you could feel the heart you had into it. You were believing you were that real coach, so you're emulating everybody you work with. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I wrestled my whole life, and I was into martial arts my whole life. I know what coaches would say to me. I know, the most important thing was breathing. Every time I was wrestling, my coach would scream, breathe,
Yeah.
And that was it. That was kind of all I needed to know. Okay, I'm not breathing. I got to breathe. And
That's so common. People hold their breath.
Hold their breath.
Yeah.
Especially in, you're in fight or flight. You're losing,
Yeah.
You hold your breath.
And you're
yep.
and you're not getting the oxygen in for the energy. Yeah. But I gotta say, I loved Kingdom.
That
You became that character.
Yeah, so that to me, when I got the call for that from Byron Belasco, who wrote every script, he'll give other people the credit, but he wrote page one rewrites. It was all Byron Belasco. It's all in his head. He gave me a script, a pilot script. I was living in New York. And by then I had started to really do well, right? I was making a bunch of dough. I was getting offered things, and CAA was my agents. And he gave me the script. I go, it's good. I said, but how much do you know about MMA? He goes, well, not a lot. I love MMA. I go, here's what I want you to do. Go down to my friend Greg Jackson. I'm going to call him. He'll welcome you with open arms. Stay there for a week. Watch the guys train. Let that seep into your body. Understand what that is. Put that in the script and give me the script again. So to his credit, I hooked him up with Jackson. He goes down. He lives there for a week. He sends me a script, and I go, let's go. Let's do this. And I signed on to do Kingdom, and subsequently brought Greg Jackson. Greg Jackson became our coordinator, our guy who did all of the. Joe Daddy Stevenson actually became his guy because Greg was busy. So we filled that place with all professional MMA guys, and all the people. Everybody trained with pros.
Was that a real gym?
We built it. We built it to our specs. No, we built it in North Hollywood.
Oh.
But it was supposed to be in Venice. Yeah, it was supposed to be on Navy Street.
And now I remember it was an exclusive DirecTV.
Which was not, they were a utility.
Okay, so I canceled my cable, the Spectrum, just so I could have your show. I've been a big fan of yours.
That's amazing.
I was so proud of you, knowing you from Gold Gym,
I love
training
you so
people,
much.
And I said,
Yeah.
I got to see Frank.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you something. I got so hooked on the show.
It was great.
But
Byron Belasco's a brilliant guy, man. Brilliant.
I was heartbroken they didn't continue it
They
on.
did. We did. Subsequently, it was one season was really 2 seasons. We did 4 seasons, and then they picked it up for another 2 seasons. Now, by then, I was doing movies in between the seasons. I'd done Purge and all these movies, so I was getting all kinds of movie offers, and I had done it for 4 years. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. First of all, I was drunk all the time because my character was a drunk.
You're always wasted. Yeah.
I was drunk all the time. I was drinking wine all the time because I also wanted to have a hangover all the time.
Yeah, you look like you were really hungover.
So I did that.
It was so lifelike.
I did that. I drank because my wife and kids were in New York, and I was by myself here shooting the show, drinking wine every day. So I'd wake up with a hangover, specifically wake up with a hangover and go to work. Because that was the essence of who this guy was, right?
Sure.
I was a little out of mind. It cost me my marriage. It cost me my marriage.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a time when everything that I loved about life, drinking wine, training, camaraderie, the teammates, and acting, actually came. I'll never be able to relive that. I mean, that was the most special time in my life, and it was probably the most damaging time in my life because I was wild. I was by myself, having been a lifelong married guy. I was by myself in L.A., and I was out of control, and I didn't know it. Never missed a trick. By the way, I had to be on set at 7. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm in the gym for 2 hours, boxing and lifting weights, strength and conditioning, then going to work and boxing and lifting weights.
And you became that character.
Oh my God.
So that's why it was so lifelike.
I know. It was so easy because I was living. That's when I really learned what fucking acting really was, to really encapsulate a character. And it was so much close to who I am. So, it's a lot of me. So, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much. But it did cost me, I think it cost me my marrich. Yeah.
Well,
I think it was worth it. It's a good show. I think it was worth it. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, did you a favor. Also Purge, which you were wonderful in.
Oh, thanks, man.
Really. And, Marvel.
Yeah.
Captain America.
Those are the big ones. In between that, I've done the things that I'm most proud of are the things most people haven't seen. I've done 60 movies. So there's a lot of little $5 million movies that never went into the theaters or went into a few theaters.
Driver.
Wheelman.
Wheelman.
That was the first movie that my partner Joe Carnahan and I made as a company. And we made it for $5 million.
I was like, it's like the Joe Schumacher's phone booth.
Right.
But you did it in a car.
Yeah.
And if someone pitched to me, I was like, what are you, fucking crazy?
Yeah.
It worked.
It's funny. Joe and I, it was our first movie as a company. CAA took the property to the Cannes Film Festival to sell it. So they were going to pre-sell it to different territories. Right. Netflix, who nobody really took seriously at the time, they came in and they said, we'll buy all the territories back and we'll give you such and such for the movie. Now, we wanted it to be in the theaters, we thought. And my agent at CAA, Jack Wiggum, called and said, here's the deal. I'm going to get you paid $1 million. I'd never been paid $1 million. I go, it's a $5 million movie. He goes, I'm going to get you $1 million. He said, but they're going to take global rights. They own it, and they're going to put it everywhere, right? And he said, and they're going to give you this much for the movie. And I said, but we only need $5 million. He said, don't ever say that again. Yeah. This is what they're going to give you. Whatever you're going to spend, you have to spend at least $5 million, but you don't have to spend a nickel more, and then you can figure out what to do with the rest of the money.
That's beautiful.
And so that's what, the movie came out so great. The writer, our buddy Jeremy, who wrote the movie and directed it, Carnahan kind of sat back. He got shot out of a cannon because Netflix used that movie as a template to show other directors and producers how to make a movie for below $10 million.
Incredible.
And so it kind of launched our company. And I'm so proud of that movie. I sat in a car for 30 days, and the actor wasn't on the other phone. I was reading to nobody. I mean,
wow.
So it was a real kind of, it was a test of really knowing the character and not relying on somebody else to kind of help you with it. It was something really cool.
I just, because when Joe Schumacher was hired to do the phone booth,
right,
Colin Farrell. We were talking, and he goes, you think I'm crazy? I said, no, if anybody can pull it off, you can. And it reminded me of Joe Schumacher.
That was a template for us. That was a template.
Yeah.
And I've done 2 movies with Colin. We're dear friends, and he's one of the most talented guys. One of the most beautiful people I know, and one of the most talented guys in Hollywood.
He's wonderful,
and I talked to him about it. I talked to him about, the confinement of it and having to just be internal, a lot of the times, and not being able to use what I rely on, which is my physicality. And it was a great test, and super proud of that movie and everybody who kind of made that happen.
Yeah, it was top of the charts.
Yeah, it was great.
And then it was so funny. I got to tell you this. So I spoke to Chris Phillip from Starling Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
A while back, I had emailed you and said, I've got this TV series that you'd be this ex-retired,
right,
special ops, and it'd be a series. And you said, send it to my agent. So I sent it to the agent, introduced myself, nothing. Chris goes, Mike, what's going on? His agent respond. I said, well, Frank told me to send it. So I said, I'll send it again. So I sent it again. Nothing from the agent. I called the agent, never called me back. Just want to let you know, I'll find out what's going on.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand. This is an amazing show. Because Chris was like, read this. And I read it. I said, oh my God, this is perfect for Frank. So then he said, can you get him to come to Grand Havana? So I go, I'll try. But then I reached out, and your cousin unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
So you couldn't make it. So that night, Frank Stallone calls me up. What are you doing? I said, I'm going to Grand Havana. So I show up with Frank Stallone. And he goes, what are you here with Stallone for? I want a Frank Grillo. Enough. To this day, he breaks my balls. He goes, that fucking guy could drink.
No.
He drank like 12 fucking drinks. He ate like an animal. I didn't get Stallone. I wanted Grillo.
It's so funny because, at some point, it got to a place. I got to a place in my career, and I love telling this to actors, man. It's like, I didn't start this when I was 16. Like, you got to believe in yourself, and you got to have thick skin, and you have got to have something about you that's special, that you believe is special, and that you believe people need to see. And I know that might sound crazy to everybody else, but to me, that's how that got me through the night. I was like, wait a minute, yeah, he's good, he's fine, but he's not me. Like, I got something to say. Like, and the way I say it, I've lived this very interesting life, half immigrant, half American, and I got something to say, right? And I tell people that, like, I started late. I was already a man when I started this thing.
Remember.
And it's like, and then it got to a point where I was getting so many offers. Now, it's not Scorsese offering the movie, but he's probably not offering most people movies. But I got offered a lot of things for a lot of money, especially in the action genre.
Sure.
That it got to be where, they would, how many people I see out and they go, dude, I sent this thing to CAA and they didn't call me. I go, wait, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I don't agent myself. I can put the word in but they're the agents. And if they say, they're going to vet something. And if something's in development and they're like, we're not involved in that right now. Do you know what I mean? It gets to be.
Well, it ended up working out because Chris said, look, I wrote this for Frank in mind. This was created because his character, his personality, and he said. So then I said, "Listen, I did what I can. Maybe you could have your agent have a conversation," which he did, right? And they got to you finally,
right?
But it was so funny. I was trying to get it to you,
and he's legit.
Oh, 100%.
And so now we're in the middle of and it's, by the way, it's a really interesting story about an Italian guy who was living in both the mob in Cuba and the government. I mean, it's a really amazing thing.
Brilliant. It's brilliant. And that's why I pushed it. But again, I was being respectful to you because I didn't want to bother you. I tried an agent so many times. I said, Chris, maybe have your agent call because the agent's not responding.
It still didn't come through my agent. You know how it got to me? I'm a partner in Larchmont Pizza.
Oh, in the pizzeria.
Right? The partners are movie producers. It came through one of those guys.
Okay. Because I kept calling your agent. I even called Kevin Uvain.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Right?
Yeah.
I said, Kevin, I don't understand. It was another agent.
Right.
He said, Mike, I'll look into it.
Right.
And I didn't want to bug him,
Yeah.
But
he's my godfather.
I told him, I said, listen, I got this role. It was written for Frank. I think it'd be a hit series. It's a limited series, but right?
It is a hit.
And I was trying for you, brother.
It's amazing.
I was trying,
it's
but
amazing.
I was being respectful because you said, Mike, it's got to go through my agent. So I respect.
Yeah, because they go, look, if you want to agent yourself, I'm like, I don't want to agent myself. I'm busy. I don't know any better. I'll yes everybody. My problem is, I'll yes everybody to death. I'll say yes to anything.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I don't know how to say no. I'm like, I'm weak.
Yeah.
I'm like, ask me anything. I'll say yes. I mean, if you need your garage painted right now, if you were to ask me, I would go and paint his garage. I would say I was going to paint his garage. But, and then I panic. And then I'm like, okay, somebody's got to get me out of this.
Yeah. No, but Sly, too. He said, this is Frank Grillo. This role is Frank. He was adamant.
Yeah. I
so.
said Sly. It's so funny because the character, the way he described it, the guy's a fourth-generation Kansas City he's a rancher. I go, Sly, I'm a rancher. He goes, no. You're a rancher, but you're one of us. And, the guy knows what he's doing because I got the cowboy hat and the thing. But I wrote, they said, can you ride a horse? I go, very well. And they go, every actor says that. I go, no. I was a barrel rider. Somehow I've lived. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't know that.
So I used to ride. My brother was a champion, but we would ride. We would barrel ride with quarter horses. So they set up this whole thing. I got to drive 2 hours outside of Atlanta because they don't believe I know how to ride a horse. So they come with the 6 or 7 horses. There's the rancher, this guy, and they all look at me like, who's this guy, right? I get on the horse, and they got barrels set up, and I'm going slow. and they're talking to each other, and all of a sudden I hit the horse and I go.
Wow.
And they're going, holy shit, you know how to ride a horse? I said, see, I wasted 2 hours driving here.
And that humidity. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Frank, I got to say, thank you for making the time to come in.
Oh, my pleasure, man.
You know?
And I'm the same with you. I see you, everybody's, you know everybody, and everybody's come on here, and it's like, I love to see it. And you're like me, like, I just get happy when I see people I know and friends doing what they love to be doing, and healthy and happy and helping people, and it's like, that's what we all should be doing. You know what I mean?
That's why I created the show.
Right.
I got tired of seeing this shit on YouTube and other with it's misinformation.
Yes.
And people being coaxed into taking all these damn supplements.
I know.
I tell people I eat 3 meals a day. I take a few different vitamins because I base it on my blood work. You don't need 6 meals a day. You overfeed, and then you got to do so much cardio.
I eat once.
But it works for
It works
you.
for me, right? So I eat once a day. I wake up in the morning. I drink my mold-free mushroom coffee and a couple of tablespoons of raw butter and some MCT oil and a little bit of protein. I mix that up, and then every day I go train with Justin Fortune over at Fortune Boxing, and then I don't eat till about 5 because my belly is saturated with.
Sure.
Satiated with fat, right? And some protein. And then I'll eat, I'm a big meat eater. So I source in some meat, and I'll have, grass-fed organic ribeye, half of Japanese yam, an avocado, some scrambled organic eggs.
Yeah.
And a couple of dates. And that's my meal for the day. And I'm
the
good.
same way, man.
I'm good.
I love meat, man.
Yeah, I love
Chucky Zito told me you guys went to B&B.
Yeah. Yep.
He said, we ate like kings. Yeah. Like I kept the green, and he kept bringing it. Baby lamb chops, filet mignon.
I love that guy. He's another guy.
He loves you.
I love him. I always have. By the way, quick Chuck Zito story. Do I have time?
Yeah.
So I got a job. Richie hired me to work the door at the Alzados. Remember Lyle Alzado?
Oh, yeah.
Right? I knew Mickey Rourke from there. Again, being a young guy, but I was like 25 years old. I wasn't that young, but I think that was when I started wanting to be an actor.
Yeah.
I was a man already. Now that I think about it, and Mickey would roll in with this dude on their choppers with the ape hang, and this dude, so handsome, and the clothes, man. He had a duster and said Hell's Angels, New York City, duster, and this guy got off this bike, and I was like, oh my God. And I said, who the fuck is that? And he goes, that's Chuck Zito. He runs the New York chapter of the Hells Angels. I go, yeah, he does. I mean, Jesus Christ. And that's when I met Chuck. And he's such a colorful, interesting.
He's like a character out of a movie.
He is,
right?
Man. I mean, he's bigger than life. He's bigger than life.
And I've witnessed. I met him 35 years ago in the China Club. Remember Monday night? Right. China Club, Monday night. I was part of the fucking place. Paulie Herman, running the place.
Yep.
So we met in there, and it was so funny. This other gang, we had a problem with him, and he was saying shit. He goes, well, listen, when we go inside, settle this shit. So there was 5 of them. I said, Chuck, you want me? No. Come watch. I watched him knock out all 5
By the way,
guys.
Legit martial artist, like not just a big, strong guy from the Hells Angels, a legit lifelong martial artist, like no joke.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Plus a badass motherfucker.
You don't want to fuck with that guy.
We went to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And we were with Stan Lee's daughter, okay? And she had the booth there, so I had to be the security for her. So, and he didn't want to wear the name tag.
Right.
So we're walking around, and this little Asian guy comes over. He goes, hey, guys, where's your badge? What badge? Are you supposed to wear it? He goes, listen, you got to go get him and come back. He goes, listen, I'm not going back to the booth. I'm going over there because it was like the Sons of Anarchy or something, whatever. Yeah. So we're walking over there. He goes, I'm going to have to radio and call my guys. He goes, hey, call whoever you want. It won't end well for you. So the guy said, blah, blah. So all of a sudden, I'm telling you, it was like a sea of guys, maybe 20 guys come show up. And then the sergeant who's there goes, are you calling about him? And he goes, yeah. He goes, stand down, go back to your post. please don't do anything. Don't say anything. And he apologized to Chuck.
Right.
He said, Mr. Zito, I'm so sorry.
Right.
We know who you are.
Right.
We want no problems. It was, thank you, brother. And it was so funny. Chuck was wearing his shirt because he always wears those funny shirts. I'm responsible for more blackouts than Con Edison. Right? They didn't want no part of Chucky.
No, he became more famous than the people who used to watch.
Even Sly said, Mike, he wants me to put him on these movies, but when they see him, it's Chuck Zito.
It's Chuck Zito. Yeah. I would. I'd put him in. If he told me I had to put him in a movie, I'd put him in a movie.
Yeah. Did you see his documentary?
Yeah.
Incredible.
He's amazing. Listen, again, he is a singular guy who's a very successful man at what he does. I mean, first of all, his neuroticism about automobiles.
Oh.
It trumps everything. And his love for Trump trumps everything.
I can't wait to tell him. But right next door is Kamala Harris's headquarters opening up.
You're kidding.
Right next door. They're opening it up. And you know how Chuck is. I can't wait to call him up and go, guess what's next to that? You know when he comes over, we may take the camera and take a visit. Yeah. That would be hysterical.
I mean, God.
Next time he comes out, come out.
I would love to. I would
Come
love
out
to.
with
If
us.
I'm home, if I'm home, I would
yeah.
love to. I'm a homebody. I mean, I work a lot, but when I'm home, I don't leave the house.
I heard you have a nice house in Hollywood now,
Yeah,
right?
I got a house in Nichols Canyon there. I got a.
Oh, it's beautiful with the views, huh?
Yeah, I got divorced and I bought a stupid house that's so big I can't. And now I'm like, why did I buy this house? I'm a schmuck.
It's like
you think I'm almost 60 years old. I'm like, I'm still making mistakes. Like I got divorced. And I built a beautiful house at the palace in the Palisades with my ex-wife, and I gave it to her. And I'm like, now I'm going to show her something. I'm going to go build a big house, 8,000 square feet. My kids are never there, right? I'm by myself, me and my new 30-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I walk around the house going, why did I do this? Now I want to sell the house, and I want to get...
maybe you sell it when the time is right.
Right, yeah.
And they make some money. But
Yeah.
I'm the same. Listen, I have all these clients that are billionaires. They don't want a massive house anymore. Because what am I going to do that for? The kids are grown, they're out of the house.
What?
I don't need something that big.
I know. Every day something breaks. Every day something
Plumbing,
breaks.
electrical.
And they come out of the house. They come out. They see the house, and it's like the thing, the nozzle for the garden hose. 5,000. I'm like, wait, what? How much? 5,000. It's 5. Everything's 5. Everything starts at 5,000.
Oh, man. Thank you for coming on,
Thank you,
Frank.
brother. Thanks for listening to me.
You're welcome. I want to thank you for watching. And please, if you have people that you care about, share this episode. It's a learning experience how this man came out with hopes and dreams, has become a successful actor, and just a good human being, because we are the sum of all things that we experience. So please forward this to people you care about that will inspire them. And please, I also would like you to subscribe. That helps grow our show and give us a chance to expand the seasons. And this episode is going to be the first episode of the new season. So I wanted to make this a very special segment. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, brother.